Hello and welcome to today's special guest sharing all the way from India with beautiful Kavita Jaiswal from Delhi. She is a contemporary artist and also a devotee of Muji. We have a very, very beautiful connection with Kavita, and I'm very honored to welcome her, and I'm very honored to have her as my friend who is always there for me whenever there is a mind storm going on. She is a beautiful reminder for me to realize who I am. I hope you will enjoy this, and thank you for joining us. Hello, Kavita.
Hi, Ivana. So good to see you.
It's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation to share your beautiful art with our beautiful VIP members.
Thank you so much for giving me this beautiful privilege to do that and share my work. Thanks.
Lovely. So, Kavita, would you like to tell us how did your beautiful artistic journey started?
Oh, it's been a long journey and a long time back. I think I've been now working for over 35 years in this practice. And of course, I started as a student and then got into the art world as a professional. And I have been working with the wet and dry media on paper as well as on canvas in acrylic and on paper in pen and ink and Conti crayons and watercolors and acrylic paints. Plus, I've been using a lot of paper on paper. I mean, I've been using washi paper, rice paper, handmade organic paper, and I've been kind of compressing it and, combining it with acid-free paper and then working my marks and lines through those uh, media. So it's been like a mixed media technique mostly. And of course, as a student, I started out in oil on canvas, etc. But my whole calling was for paper as a medium, and I think I found it more sensitive. I found watercolors and pen and ink and pencil marks softer and more tender. Um, so that's where I went. And it's been emotionally as well as kind of developing my language, visual language, alongside as I grew up. So I started out when I was 20, and and each time as a student, of course, I was like looking for my visual display of what I would add to my visual and the subjects that I would add. And as I grew in skill as well as composition, I started to feel a certain silence and a certain peace within when I would enter my studio and I would start with my work, my formal work, which started in the mid 90s, say about 1995 onwards. And that is where whenever I would enter the studio, I would feel this strange peace and silence and complete. I used to feel collected, and I used to feel that I'm in one piece and in one space, which is very secure, which is very calm and loving. And this was a feeling which I began to explore through my work then, because I used to always feel it, and then when I would go out, of course, yes, there would be the normal things in life as a person, and with the several roles that I was playing as a wife and a mother and a caretaker and all that. And then I would come back to the studio and I again would have the same feeling of being very peaceful and very centered. So this is how I started to explore. And in my first solo exhibition, which was in 1999, it was called Subconscious Excavations. And I felt that all my abstraction, and by then I had given up the recognizable form, as in the figurative language, and the recognizable shapes. And I had gone into kind of just line, tone, texture, color, because I just wanted this freedom from the binding or the surface tension of a form or a body. And this was something that was very instinctive to me. So after 10 or 12 years of doing the figurative stuff, I kind of eliminated that out of my visual, and it started to go into abstraction. Of course, I started with geometric shapes to begin with, because as an artist you hold on to that image, and you need that confidence to be an abstract painter. But it was like God's blessings that I was able to crack that, and I was able to just throw out the form completely out of my system and my work. And there was more and more freedom on the canvas or on the paper when I was working. And so this was after Subconscious Excavations. My next show was at the British Council in New Delhi, which was the Queen's Gallery. I'd just come back from Scotland, which was at the Edinburgh Printmakers Workshop, where I'd done printmaking and lithographs and etching. And they offered me a show in Delhi after that. So that show was called Silent Moments. And that is when I used to completely melt away, and my body would just melt into the silence while I was working. And I also created 7 works which were white on white in embossed etching on paper. And there was no color in them. And there was just the feeling of the relief forms on the white on white etchings. And this exhibition was followed by Cognizance in 2005, where my gallery, he was my gallery director, Mr. Ebrahim Alkazi, who was such a wonderful being, and he was way older than me. And, he was sitting there and he was telling me, he says, I think abstraction has finally entered your work completely. And there is a cognizance in you of that silent feeling within you. And I think there is a recognition of something that is happening, and a recognition of freedom. So should we call this exhibition Cognizance? I said, absolutely. Whatever you suggest, yes, I'm going to listen to you. So that's when that happened, and then followed by another exhibition called The Full Space, where I felt that though there was this emptiness and this feeling of zero in the origin, it is full of the universal energy, and it is completely loaded with grace, God's grace there, So I called it The Full Space, and followed by my further exhibitions. And recently I've come into this whole space of complete abandon, and there is a feeling of no existence, and there's a feeling of no time, and there's a feeling of complete freedom and complete alignment with the universal energy. And I completely feel that whatever I create now is actually just flowing through me, through my body, and through my hands and my tools and the paint and the pen and ink. But it's coming from somewhere else completely. So my most recent works, I would love to show you a catalog. In fact, I just made one because I participated in an art fair, an online art fair during these COVID times in India.
Sure,
and if
that'll be
you
wonderful.
like, I share that catalog with you, and maybe I'll just run you through some images and of my
Wonderful.
new work. Yeah, okay, I'll just do that. So
Okay.
let me just share screen with you and open this catalog. Can you see the cover?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is catalog 2020. This is made now, recently, a week ago, in fact, and it's kind of showing parts of my work. I'll have to scroll up, I think. And it has an artist statement. Maybe I can just send you, it's a small PDF file. Maybe I can just send it to you later for you to see more. And it says, my artist statement here, I said that I feel that the feeling of autonomy is just a feeling of an individual manifested out of the timeless one, where the timeless one has to somehow manifest himself into form to be able to speculate, to remember, and to confirm to us. And the picture continues to unfold on the surface of the paper or canvas, and every image that emerges is testimony to the essence of the life force which appears in it. Each image unfolds the present moment for me, where I'm a part of it within the universal whole. So there are pictures of my recent works, which are called Landscapes of Memory and Experience. They're also called Manuscripts in the forests of memory, and they are letters to the wind. And there some of them are called Threads in Zephyr. So I'll just quickly take you through the landscapes of memory and experience. And here I come in. Yeah, I come into, it's basically this memory is also from my body or mind, but appears on its own as if sent to me in this moment to manifest as a visible mark so that it can be recognized by the human physical eye, So where all this is coming from, I do not know. But all that I know is that it is very real. It feels very real. It's more real than what my dynamic eyes can see in the life of fleeting moments that appear and disappear. This is not a dynamic space or a physical space, it seems to me. It is born out of everything, and there are no boundaries here. It is seamless and not bound in time. There is a communication within it which feels timeless and effortless. There is a silence as the thoughts come and go and leave their marks behind, recalling moments and stories in time that have once appeared. These marks are for me no marks, as they gently hold the space together and are visible to our dynamic eyes, but not actually just a caress and a movement within the vast silence of universal space, which is without any attributes. So this is the first work. It's a combination of acrylic ink, rice paper, washi paper, which is a Japanese very thin transparent paper, which I have kind of um, pasted on Ashes acid-free paper in pen and ink and created this composition. This is another one. Oh, sorry, not being able to scroll this. Okay, there you go. This is another composition in the landscape of memories and experience. This again is paper on paper plus acrylic ink and marks with pen and ink and acrylic.
Beautiful.
This is another one. And here is another one. Maybe I don't know whether I can increase it and show you some kind of textures. You can see the organic paper here, and it's like very tactile in its quality, so you can touch it. And there's some paper which little burnt edges which I found, and which I've been using in treating paper. I treat paper and layering, and then I kind of place it onto the paper or the canvas.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a close-up of manuscripts. Now, this was very interesting, these compositions, where I actually, of course, I prepared the paper. It wasn't as if I found these manuscripts and they were burnt already, but I had to prepare this. But I felt that these were manuscripts that were found in the forests of eternal space, and they were saying something, and they were bringing messages from the universal spirit. And these messages I felt are being deciphered right now within the timeless and in each one of us, which exists in each one of us, the timeless. And our eyes recognize and feel the wordless message. It is here and being carried by infinity. And there are these letters, this text which is appearing on the surface through my pen, and this is wordless. It doesn't have any language. It doesn't have any recognizable alphabet which is being used, but it is a text I feel from the universal spirit, and I feel that the wind is speaking to me, and the forest is speaking, and the whole universe is speaking and writing through my pen, you know.
Beautiful.
Mm, so I'm just trying to, okay, oh, I think I've reduced the size. Now, this is the full image of the manuscripts work. So it was like, it's like a vertical image, which is 30 inches by 20 inches. And this is where I kind of composed the whole thing. And here you can see the various kind of text which is written. There are words which fly away in a line. There are words which just land in a pool of water, as if it's in a lake, and there are words that just land on just a surface which has been forgotten and left behind in the forest of memory. So just explaining itself all the time and just trying to say something to all of us. Uh, you know, we can see it with our eyes. This is another one called Manuscripts 2. Um, and this is another series called Letters to the Wind,
Mm-hmm.
which again I feel is the wordless text, which is appearing on the surface of the wind, by the wind, from the wind. And uh, it's again a part of the timeless journey. And so here again, these are softer, there are no burnt edges here. But of course, again, I've combined washi paper as well as acrylic and ink and rice paper on Ash's acid-free paper. Now, this acid-free paper is a paper which is created for artists to be used by artists, because it is a permanent paper and it doesn't disintegrate with time. In fact, it is more permanent than a canvas. So, and it of course gets its protective space inside a frame. That's another one. This is another one, Letters to the Wind. Here again, we can see in the marks, the text and marks of the wind, and just the free flow in space of nothingness, really. So this is one, and my screen of my laptop is just taking off. So these are various letters to the winds, and this is a work which is called Prayers. And this was a question which a lot of us as artists were being asked during these COVID times, especially. And they're saying that they were asking us, "What do you feel? How do you feel these days?" So I said, I just felt that I was going deeper and deeper into prayer. And instead of worrying, there was no worry, there was no fear. There was only this prayer in my heart and soul for every living thing on this planet, and healing for everything. And so this was one of the works that happened at that time. I'll show you the larger version of it. This is a close-up. And here I just wrote a little bit about it, that the book of ages reveals and dissolves at the same time. There are no words, yet, no, there are words, yet there are no words. There is feeling, and yet there is no feeling. There is a silence, and yet the gentle sounds in the substratum are heard. The prayers manifest themselves. So this is the full work. It's a very soft, gentle work, and this is what I felt was the book of ages. Here, which was revealing itself, and it was just releasing its prayers in the environment around, and it was just letting itself, kind of heal everything that was surrounding it. And it has a little bit of a watery feel. It does have text again. It has this feel of an island where there are birds in flight. I mean, they feel like birds in flight, and I didn't make them that way. Each of these works, Ivana, they just speak back to me while I'm working. So it's not that I've planned anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, because of my experience as an artist, yeah, there is a bit of skill building, and I know composition, and I'm able to kind of control the space a bit and make it look relevant. But the rest is completely free, and it just flows.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so this is another work called Threads.
I love
Uh,
it.
yeah, I know a lot of people are liking these. These are pen and ink drawings on paper. They're just pen and ink. And I've also scratched into the paper for these white on white lines, which you can see a little bit of relief work here in the lines, all these. And just to create just a colorless kind of a silent line. And here again, I feel that these are threads, which are infused with the universal energy and its presence. And they're stitching together the pieces of our existence and our non existence, and appearing simultaneously in fields and patches, uh, being lovingly darned and held together within the vastness of consciousness as the only timeless reality. So I really resonate with these entangled formations, which kind of contain space within them, and space and no space. This is the image of the full work. This is a large work which is 40 inches by 30 inches, and it's, I don't know, it's looking a bit blurred over here. So I guess, yeah, that's how reality is. It's all in a blur. But it's actually a very clear image. So this is pen and ink, and this is another one of the threads. So just holding together existence and non-existence in the flow. And this is another work which is called the breath of each, in the breath of each stitch. Here I wrote a little poem to my daughter, and I wrote to her saying that, let me wrap myself around you, because she's very far away from me. She's in the US, and I keep missing her, and I keep wanting to hold her and, kind of cuddle her. So this is what I wrote to her. I said, let me wrap myself around you so that you're not alone. Lose yourself in me, and just glide along. From the dynamic throes of life, simply just let them all pass. Even when they try to beckon you, you just flow with me, for you and I are one. So,
Beautiful.
you know, so again, there are fields and patches here being darned and held together by the threads of universal consciousness. This is the full painting. I think I'll reduce a bit in size. So this is where I've written the poem actually down in my own language, which you can read. It's English. It's not letters to the wind here. And this is another one in the breath of each stitch. This is on black paper, again, with working with a white ink pen. And these are again, this is a series called Zephyr, which is just light white lines in the entangled formation, again carrying the life force, appearing on the surface of the paper and appearing in the from the void, from the darkness, appearing into light. So it's like the light emanating from the darkness. And this is the full painting. It's on paper again, 44 inches by 30 inches. This is another one called Zephyr. And this is another one. And this is the moon's question. This is another. This is based on a poem by Hafiz, when the moon asks a question. I don't know the poem verbatim, but the moon is asking, "Who am I?" To the sun or the lover, and the lover says that, find yourself, lose yourself within yourself, and find your light again. So, and you are independent as a consciousness. You know, so you don't have to feel that you're always depending on the sun for your light. So that's,
Beautiful.
and you're part of the universal consciousness and God. So you have your own light. So this is the moon's question, and that's the end of the presentation. So I think I'll stop sharing here, because I may have already bored a lot of people by my.
No, that was very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening and seeing the work so closely. It feels,
Beautiful.
yeah.
And how did you choose the colors?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question, because I have been working, my palette is very restricted, from black and white to earth colors. And most of them are warm colors. which is to do with the earth. I do use blue once in a while, but it's a rare color that enters my work. But mostly it's the colors of the soil, and it's umbers and it's crimsons and it's the deep colors of the earth. I feel very grounded. I feel very earthy, you know, and it's just a natural reaction to color, because color, I feel, as an artist, I know that, of course, in color therapy we talk about color as emotion, and every color has an emotion in it, and it represents something. And so, for instance, if you use a yellow and a bright red together, right, as in Ronald McDonald burgers, it means fast, something fast and furious and quick and happy and childlike and things like that. So, earth colors for me feel very grounding, and I just feel very comfortable. And I'm not able to use very loud, bright colors at all. I somehow just I pick them up, I buy them, and then I put them on the shelf. I enjoy looking at them. I love their energy, but I'm not able to apply them in my work somehow.
That's interesting. You would love the earth, the soil here in Ibiza. It's very red.
Wow, yeah.
Red, and when it's recently moved, when they pass the tractor for the earth,
Mm-hmm.
it's very alive, red, brown, but more red. I'll take a picture and so you can see.
Yeah,
But
I'd
it's
love to see.
beautiful contrast, because it's a red earth, and then we have a beautiful blue sky, and if you have a green pine trees in between, it's like, wow, these three colors, beautiful.
Wow, sounds so good. Yeah, I'm waiting for this lockdown to be over and travel a bit and come to you to Ibiza.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Europe, yeah, it'll be such a lovely moment. Do
So
send me a
true.
picture of the colors. I'd love to see it.
I will, yes.
Yeah. You yourself have been doing video and photography and being a photographer yourself, and I'd love to see a lot of your work. And
Wow, my
soon,
photography is very rusty. But I used to, my favorite, if I can call it subject, was landscape.
uh-huh.
Yeah, but now I got a little lazy. My photo camera, it's in the back of the wardrobe, and I
Okay,
just take pictures with the iPhone, which is not really like wow. But yeah, I'm getting into filming now.
okay,
So
that's
that's a
wonderful.
little different, a little bit more complicated, but it's also beautiful. It's something that's been calling me for the last couple of years.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
So I'm learning, I'm interviewing very interesting people here in Ibiza. Also, um, my absolute favorite subjects are consciousness, wisdom, who we are, and sharing this. So I actually interviewed very interesting person that lives on a mountain with no electricity, no water.
Yeah.
He actually lived in India for some years with Babas in the caves.
Okay.
And the series that we are filming with him, his name is Manalea. It's called Drops of Wisdom.
Wow. Sounds really good. I'd love to see them when they're
I will
ready.
pass you the link. I'm actually finishing the editing of his video this week, and it should go up online together with your video. So I will share that with you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Sounds so good.
So Kavita, tell us how can people reach out to you? How can they find or maybe purchase your work?
I have a website, and maybe I can send you the link. It's by my name,
Definitely.
kavita.com. So but I can send the link to you. Maybe you can
Can you
use the
repeat
link.
again how you pronounce your surname?
Kavita Jaiswal.
Nice. So it's kavitajaiswal.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely. So we will put it under the video as well. And
Okay.
this way people can reach out to you.
Thank you so much for giving me this platform and this opportunity to speak to you. And I can see Guruji behind you, Guruji Baba. And thank you, Guruji, for everything that he's given us, brought us together in this world.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much. My pleasure. You know, I was sharing before we started our conversation that I feel very fortunate to have met you, because you transmit a lot of peace to me. And if there is sometimes, because sometimes there is a storm, mind storm going on, and if I don't know, or if I'm having like hard time with the storm, I know that I can just reach out to you and have a Zoom call, which we have often done, and the storm is blown away. And through you, I can find the peace, which is very beautiful. Mm.
These are just beautiful connections sent to us by God. And when we connect at the heart and we connect at the level of the pure consciousness, which our master has so clearly pointed out and made us see it and be it,
I
Ivana,
know.
you're beautiful. I love you.
I love you too. Beautiful, Kavita. So thank you so much for finding time and for sharing your beautiful talent and your stories. And I would love to have you again.
Sure, anytime. I'm there for you.
Thank you so
It'll be a
much.
real pleasure. Thank you.
Beautiful.